Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Cinnamon Stitches. I am your yarn host Jennifer and today is Monday, and on Monday we show what we have been making for the past 7 days, give or take. Now I'm wearing my one and only crocheted object that I've made this week. I've also made some yarn, which I'm going to show you, along with story time. So that's why we call it Monday Makes. Welcome to Monday Makes, folks. Alright, so I also give a blog update of what my life has been like in the past couple of days. Generally a weekend update, and I am filming this on Sunday, so you actually do get a little bit of a sneak peek of my weekend and what is to come of my upcoming week. So let's start there because my daughter Juju got a gift card to Trader Joe's for her Christmas present, and the reason that we got her a Trader Joe's gift card is because Trader Joe's is a new thing to us. We just discovered, and I personally just went to my first Trader Joe's in, I think it was June or July of last year. So really, we're really new to Trader Joe's and the Trader Joe's scene. The reason we like Trader Joe's and have become hooked on Trader Joe's is because Trader Joe's has clearly marked gluten-free items, and if you don't know, my daughter and myself have a gluten allergy and we get violently sick if we ingest even small amounts of gluten. And gluten is present in wheat, rye, barley, so even some chocolates that might have barley malt in them, yeah, I can't eat that. Which, you know, I also was the kid who loved barley and beef soup growing up. So, yeah, there's a lot of foods we just cannot ingest. And Trader Joe's, Aldi's has quite a few options. They had gluten-free hamburger helper, which I know a hamburger helper is not the greatest, but I like to, you know, judge up the hamburger helper. And hamburger helper was a staple when Mr. Cinnamon and I first got together because we were broke as a joke and we really couldn't afford much. And then we realized hamburger helper was kind of expensive, so I started making my own hamburger helper. But you know, sometimes you just long for those struggle foods that you grew up knowing. Although my mom did not make hamburger helper. She made what she called beef stroganoff, which was just an upgraded version of a hamburger helper. It was egg noodles and canned beef gravy and canned mushrooms and really, really tough to chew meat. It was not. It was good when you're growing up and you're hungry, but like, yeah, no. Her pepper steak was not much different, except she just had way overcooked green peppers that were slimy. Ugh. Anyway, I was excited about that because we had to go to Aldi's, and the reason we had to go to Aldi's because Trader Joe's was a hot mess. Now, did not know that there's 2 Trader Joe's in the Richmond area, and there's also one in Charlottesville, which of course is away from our house. We don't live anywhere near either of those locations. So in order to go to either of those stores, we have to drive quite a bit. And we were going to go to Charlottesville, and I was like, but I haven't been to Scrap RVA, which will be another video coming up. And the people in the Facebook group already know about it because I found furls for a really cheap price at the creative reuse store called Scrap RVA. It's the first time I've been to their new location. I can't wait to share that video with you because I scored. I scored. Okay. So anyway, Scrap RVA, we went there, and then we decided, well, the whole plan was just to go to Trader Joe's to spend her gift card. And because we still haven't gone through the entire process of getting her new car, we're still helping her look because car prices have gone up since we bought her Kia. And, yeah. They no longer make her Kia. And so we're trying to figure out, you know, what is a safe, reliable car that's not going to cost me an arm and a leg. So yeah, there's that. So we drove her to Trader Joe's and it was fun family time. It was not a big deal. And I was like, let's go to the Richmond one because I want to go to Scrap RVA. And then that ended up being a mistake because traffic was god awful. If you don't know about I-95, and it's I-95 pretty much runs the whole east coast of the country, okay? So it runs through a ton of states, and I have not heard anything good about I-95 in any of the states. Virginia is perhaps the worst because there's so many people, and we get Washington, D.C. We get D.C. traffic, and it's just, the traffic is always bad on I-95. And sometimes we'll take alternate routes, and usually going south it's a little better than if you're going north, and Richmond is south of us. Oh, traffic was bad. It was bad. And I was like, maybe we should have just went to Charlottesville, and I could have went to the Scrappy Elephant or Art Hive or any of the creative reuses out there. And the whole point of me wanting to go to Scrap RVA is check out their new location and get my passport stamped, which I forgot to do. Had it in my purse, and I was so excited when I found the Furrows crochet hooks that I forgot to get my passport stamped. So I'm going to have to go back another time and get it stamped. And hopefully there's not like an expiration date on that. But it doesn't matter. It's something fun to do, right? We get to Trader Joe's, and the parking lot was pretty full. And if you don't know, so I'm explaining this to all the people who may not live in the United States and don't understand, okay? Or people who have always lived in the North and don't understand what it's like in the South. There's a certain line in the country that pretty much goes down the middle of the country, okay? North versus South and all that, right? The people above the line are used to getting snow for Christmas. Think of it as the American equator, okay? Otherwise known as the Mason-Dixon line. If you live north of the Mason-Dixon line and you're used to snow, it's not a big deal. The snow is in the forecast. But if you live south of the Mason-Dixon line, which I grew up in Michigan, which is at the very top of the country, we touched Canada, okay? And I live below the Mason-Dixon line. They panic. And I know that you Southerners get mad every time I bring the subject up, but it's just so irritating to me that people panic. And first of all, I'm going to explain why you don't need to panic, okay? The snow ain't going to stick around for more than 2 days. It never has. In the 12 years I have lived down here, the snow sometimes doesn't even make it 24 hours. It hits the ground, everybody panics. They cancel and shut down everything, including the government. Okay? The United States government buildings actually stop when it snows here. Everybody and their mama runs to the grocery store and buys up all of the milk, all of the bread, all of the toilet paper, like it's the pandemic all over again. It's insane, right? Well, I wasn't going to the store for none of that because snow's in the forecast. That wasn't even on my radar that I should panic because I grew up where there was 4 months of snow, and snow is just another Saturday, you know? But no. Everyone was at Trader Joe's. So much so I couldn't actually shop because walked in the store, saw the state of the lines, took my shopping cart, and immediately went and got in a line. And I said, go off and find food. But here's the problem. The aisles are only, at best, 3 shopping carts wide. And every aisle... Let me get my batteries out. Okay, we got 3 shopping carts. These are shopping carts, okay? So at very best, the aisle is this wide. And then there's freezers. The aisle I happen to be in, there's freezer here and a freezer here down the entire length of the aisle. It's like chest freezers that are open, okay? Now, this is best case scenario. There's also randomly poles in the middle, like right here. And then up here, like just poles holding the roof up, okay? So this is the line I was in with my little shopping cart. This is the line across the aisle, and we are butted against the freezers. Now, the people going up the center of the aisle, there's no room for them to get to the freezers. So how anyone was actually shopping, I have no idea because... And if you don't know about Trader Joe's, they constantly have people stocking food because they keep everything full. There's not empty spaces, and if there's an empty space, they fill it with food. Like, it's just, and it's a constant flow. It's just the way they run Trader Joe's. So there are literal stockers holding big boxes and cases of frozen foods trying to get to the freezers, but even the customers can't get to the freezers. And so there was a lot of, can I get in behind you? Can I squeeze in behind you? Can I grab the enchiladas? Can I grab the falafels? Oh, they don't have falafels. Oh, and then, like, irritation. And I'm enjoying myself because I don't know why I was enjoying myself. I'm just sitting there, like, laughing at the ridiculousness of everything that is occurring around me. Like, it was just bedlam. It was sheer panic. It is the next day. There's not a snowdrop or a snow flurry or a snowflake anywhere to be seen. It's supposed to come tonight, but everybody has already panic bought everything. I'm going to say we were in line at least 45 minutes, possibly closer to an hour. We didn't buy very much because there was no way for me to get in and out of the store. We bought a couple of items that Juju spent $34 above her gift card. So she got a lot of snacks and like foods for herself, which is fine because that's less money I gotta spend for my grocery money to buy her specials. She's an adult. She can buy her own groceries. It's perfectly fine. She also has her own little fridge in her room now. Also a Christmas present. It's just one of those little college fridges. Because she's been buying her own food with her own money and her brother has been eating it because he cannot stop himself. And then I hear the arguing, Lucas, did you eat my ice cream? Yeah, it's good times, good times. So, it is what it is, right? So I'm standing there and one of the workers comes in and she's, can I get in front of you? I was like, yeah. So she's stocking stuff and we were making small talk. And it wasn't about anything. I was like, this is insane. And she's all, yeah, it's pretty crazy. You know, a little small talk here and there. And she's stocking and she goes out. She grabs another box. She comes back in and has to get back by me again for another food product. And I was like, you just like us. And she's all, yeah, you're not too bad. And I was like, I was talking to my husband. I was like, we call him Mr. Cinnamon. His name is Chris. I was like, this is actual insanity. Like, is this panic buying or is this location just really that busy? And then she chimed in. She's all, no, this is because of the snow. And then we had a whole conversation about how ridiculous it is. She's all, I'm from West Virginia. And West Virginia is like at the point where the Mason-Dixon line runs through. Okay. I am just probably an hour, maybe 2 hours below the Mason-Dixon line. So that's the American, we're going to call it the American equator, okay? It divides the country north and south. And she was talking about her experience in West Virginia. And so I trumped her. I'm like, well, I'm actually from Michigan and like snow is just another Saturday. Like, I don't understand. This is actually ridiculous. And I could tell I offended a few people in line, but like, it's ridiculous to panic that there's a possibility that snow is going to come. And nobody in there, like, there's 500 people in the store, in a very small store, and nobody had more than 10 or 15 items in their cart, including us. Although we had 2 orders, so there was 10 to 15 items, and then me and Mr. Cinnamon had like 5 items. And I was just like, this is so, and I'm laughing at it because it's absolute ridiculous, you know. Please don't be offended. I just have a different perspective on things than you do if you live in the South and you are highly offended. I went to the store for fun and I didn't realize it was going to be like that. I forget that people panic buy, and I understand that y'all ain't used to snow, but also it's not going to stick. It's not going to stick. And people are worried about power outages. Why are you buying food if you are worried about the power outage, you know? Have a few staples. It's still going to be there in the morning. And also prepare like ahead of time. Buy in bulk. Have a little stockpile just in case an emergency. That's just common sense. If you can, have a stockpile. When you go to the grocery store, buy a couple of extra cans of food that is, you know, shelf stable in case there's an emergency. So with that being said, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just making fun of the whole situation. It's just amusing to me. It's amusing to me. So, Juju is buzzing in and out, trying to find her staples, which for her, she really likes dried mango. Her favorite. She loves it. She likes, I don't know. She gets gluten-free freezer meals for days she's working, and I don't even know all of what she bought. She bought mango. She really likes mango. Mango ice cream bars because she really likes those. And, yeah. And Mr. Cinnamon was like, oh, because I watch Trader Joe's videos on people shopping at Trader Joe's to see what's new. So I can see if I want to take an extra ride out because it's not near my house. So I watch Trader Joe videos, you know. People shopping and show them what's new. I watch Aldi videos. My favorite Aldi shopper is Pretty and Flawed. Check her out. She's fantastic. Pretty, the letter N, Flawed. She goes to a lot of stores, TJ Maxx, but like I watch her Aldi's videos most frequently. And so we were watching a Trader Joe's video and they had gluten-free shrimp. I mean, shrimp is naturally gluten-free, but it's got a I don't want to call it a fry base because it's not fried. It's got a coating on it, which is gluten-free, which is rare. And so Mr. Cinnamon was like, do you want to try this? Because he knows I love shrimp. P.S. I also bought shrimp from Aldi because they had shrimp with Alfredo sauce, with no noodles, which was gluten-free, and shrimp scampi with vegetables and scampi sauce, which is gluten-free. So we have some shrimp because I'm trying to get back on my really, really strict diet because my blood pressure, my sugar, after Mr. Cinnamon's birthday just shot through the roof, and I have felt like crap ever since because if you don't know, diabetes makes you feel like you're dying when your sugar is high. So with that, I'm trying to I'm drinking water. Now granted, it's colored. I don't even know what color I'm drinking because Mr. Cinnamon bought this or made this for me. And I can't tell the difference. Oh, it's pink, which is just Starburst sugar-free flavor packet. I use one little packet for 40 ounces. It is meant to put one of those in a small cup, and I'm like, that is a lot. It's too strong. Alright, so that was pretty much how my weekend went. And then we left Trader Joe's, and I still didn't have any of the groceries that I needed, so we went to the grocery store. We were out all day. So Scrap RVA, Trader Joe's, then we went to Aldi, and by the time we hit Aldi, it was dark out. So we came home, dropped off Trader Joe's with the kids stayed home, and then me and Mr. Cinnamon went grocery shopping because it's cheaper not to bring them. Can I? You know how it goes. So Mr. Cinnamon and I went to Aldi, and I walked in the store and I just laughed because it was just empty aisles. All the bread is gone. All the buns are gone. Like none of the things that I actually can eat. So that didn't matter to me, but I was just laughing. They had gluten-free bread still. So there's that. I'm trying not to eat bread at all right now. Half of the vegetables and fruits were empty. And I'm like, did the truck not deliver? Or did people just go hog wild in Aldi? Like, it was empty. But I'm not complaining because there was no lines. I made it after the flood of people came in, apparently. There were no lines at Aldi. And I still was able to get all of my staples, which was, I bought the stuff to make spinach artichoke dip and celery to dip in the artichoke dip because it's really good like that and it's low carb. And then I bought chicken because I also made chili relleno, which is just stuffed poblanos with chili. I buy poblanos, I take the stem out, and I stuff them with chicken and cheese. So they had chicken. I already had cheese from Trader Joe's. I already had the poblanos. And then I put some enchilada sauce on top of it. We call it a day. Because again, can't batter them. So I just bake them and they're good. And they're a little bit more healthy than the traditional fried chili relleno. Which, don't get me wrong, I love a good chili relleno. Num-nums. I love chilies of all kinds. So they had all the staples that I needed. I got stuff for the week for the kids. I got stuff, you know, just the grocery staples that I needed. They had milk, they had eggs, did not have bread, but we still was able to get little man a loaf of bread. And then, yeah, all the other stuff I need to actually make meals for the week. So I was glad with that. And then I came home and I was real tired. And it was late. And so then I made dinner on top of that. And dinner took over an hour. So I sat on the couch. And I'm like, I'm just going to go sit because I feel awful. I'm exhausted. And I'm trying to regulate all the things that's off in my body. Sugar, blood pressure, like all of it is off. It was real high. And I know that was a combination of stress and holiday eating. We already know we're good. So I'm going through sugar withdrawal right now. Because I had a slice of cake, gluten-free, German chocolate cake Juju made for Mr. Cinnamon's birthday. And like my sugar spiked high. And so we're detoxing. And then it brings me back to Fall Out Boy. There's a song, and in the lyrics it says detox just to retox. And I swear I'm going to get that tattooed on my arm. That's what I feel like with the sugar. Detox just to retox. Detox just to retox. So I told Mr. Cinnamon, I feel awful. I'm tired. Everybody ate dinner. Y'all clean up. I'm sitting on the couch and watching TV, and I'm going to crochet and finish my sweater. Which is not a sweater. It's a t-shirt. It's a wool t-shirt. It's the Spring Fling t-shirt. So before anybody asks, it's the Spring Fling t-shirt tutorial. It's here on the channel as my t-shirt. The wool is wool. So it's Fredericksburg Farms. And it's 4 different color. Well, actually it's more than 4 different colorways. Because this whole top part and the whole bottom part were... what wool festival did we go to where I bought the samples and they're blacklight reactive? I don't know where my blacklight is. I think Lucas has it. Anyway, this whole top section is blacklight reactive. Part of the throughout is random parts are blacklight reactive. Fredericksburg Farms does her own, from what I understand, from what I was told from a store, but I talked to her specifically and she was like, I don't do it all myself. But from what the store said is the wool comes from her sheep or sheep in her immediate area, and then she dyes and spins the stuff herself. Her prices are really reasonable for hand-dyed, hand-spun yarn. Her yarn is beautiful. I really enjoyed working with it, and I'm going to stand up and show you what we got working on here. So it is the t-shirt of many colors because, like I said, it was 4 different cakes, but 2 of the cakes were, I'm going to say mill ends because she called them mystery cakes or something. They were a hank like this. And they were different colorways of the ends that she didn't have enough to make a full skein. So she made them into 1 full skein by mixing like 3 or 4. So there's several colorways in this sweater. So this is what it looks like. I think it's beautiful. I love the way it turned out. I love the color shifting. I'm not a big fan of the orange around the bottom, but that was like the final cake, and I used every bit of yarn except for, it's on my desk right here somewhere. Is that it? That ain't it. I don't know where it's at. Like a bowl this big, which is maybe 10 yards. I don't even think it's that much. Is a 3-weight yarn and Spring Fling t-shirt. Now, what I did differently here than I normally do with my t-shirts is I did the sleeves before I did the body. Because I wanted to make sure the sleeves fit me, and they fit me really well. And then I did the body. And I added, unlike the tutorial for the Spring Fling t-shirt, I added stitches here in the same way I did in the gold sweater I made for New Year's. I added every 5 stitches, I added a stitch just to go out a little bit. So I had more room in my thickest area. So this thing took forever to make. And even though it's a 3-weight, it's DK weight. I used My new Omi hook, which is the Omi pearlescent one, is a G+, a 4.5mm hook. Because I've been making so many things with bulky yarns, like this beautiful cardigan. This is the Sandy cardigan. That's the Sandy cardigan. I've been using 5 weights. It seemed to take a lot longer, but also it's been real busy this past week with the new year and having people around, and just life in general has just been super busy. And so I haven't, and I haven't been feeling good because of the sugar thing and because all different reasons. And then I had a couple days where I just could not make myself sit down and work on this because I was hurting my arms. Even today my arms feel real hurty and they're heavy, and that's usually a sign that I need to go with a chiropractor, because that means my neck is pinching my nerves. And yeah, fun times. So all of that to say, it's finished and it's beautiful, and I love the way it turned out. Now, what else did I make this week? I showed you this one last week because, if you recall, we have the stinky wool that I got from a creative reuse store, and it was fiber and it was purple, and it was these 2 colors to be specific. And it smelled. And I washed it, and I washed it, and I washed it, and it still smelled. But I noticed I used the purple and the blue. It's actually 2 shades of purple, but one looks blue on camera, so we're just gonna say the purple and these 2 purples right here. It looks blue on camera. It really is just a different color blue or purple. I mixed it with some higher end non-stinky wools, and I spun it up. I combed it in my new carder, okay, which is right here on the side of me. And then I spun it with some blues and some green, some aquas and some greens, which I'm not seeing the green at all right now. It's kind of in there. It's like a minty green. Actually, there's lime green in here. There it is. It's like a lime, like a really light lime green. So I spun that up. It's beautiful, right? Not perfect. I'm not going for, when I spin my yarn, I do not go for perfect. I don't go for perfect twist. I don't go for perfect thickness. I like it thick, thin. I feel like it definitely, like for example, this, one of the sleeves on here has like a puff. And it's where the wool is a little bit thicker right there. And so it creates a puff. And I think it might be on the back of one of the sleeves. And there's also a couple, a couple of spots throughout the body where there's just a little puff. And I could cut that out because it's an imperfection. I like leaving that in. I like the way it looks. Like, you can tell that it's homemade. It doesn't look like it's from a store. You could tell that the wool is hand spun. I like that. I keep those details in. I also like to spin the thick, thin yarn. I like the way it looks when it works up. I just like it. Okay, so with that, keep that in mind when you're looking at this. It's not, I'm not aiming. I have heard so many people say that once they learn how to go thin, they can't figure out how to go thick again. Or once they learn how to do like a perfect thickness all the way across, they have a harder time making the puff stitches. And I can see that because I had to pull back a little bit and change the way I was spinning. And these are all things I'm learning. You know, I've only been spinning 6 to 8 months. So this is all very new to me, and I'm still in the learning process. But oh, I love it. It is so peaceful to me. Except for this one. We're going to talk about it because I hate that one. I actually threw the rest of the fiber out, and I'm going to tell you why. Now, I spun this up and I washed it real good, and it smells absolutely delicious. I use my hand soap. My hand soap is from Bath & Body Works. It is really nice smelling soap. It just smells good. So this smells delicious, even though it started with really stinky wool. The wool, no matter how many times I cleaned it, I couldn't get the stink out, and it's almost like sticky. And I mean, I washed it to the point of where I almost felted it because I'm trying to get the stink out. And there's something, it's not lanolin. There's something sticky, as if it may have came from a house with excessive cigarette smoke or something, like, you know, that tarry stickiness that happens in a heavy smoking house. It doesn't smell like smoke. It smells like must, dust, like it's been hanging around way too long in an open container. It just smells gross, right? This one, so I washed it, I dried it, which took days. I ended up to dry it. I put it in a colander and sat it over my heat register. And the heat coming up dried it in just a couple hours. And I just kept flipping it around and moving it around so that the water was dripping into a bucket. And then when the water stopped dripping, I put it over the register and it just dried really quick. And then I shoved it all into my drum carder and I'm combing it out and I'm getting it all fluffed up, and it looked beautiful and it even felt a lot softer, but it was just something in it was still sticky. Not like it was felted, but like there's something on it that I just can't get out no matter how much and how much cleaner. I used dish detergent, I used hand soap, I kept washing it. I got some out and I made bats, which is just, it's like batting for a blanket, okay? It's like a flat piece of fluff. And I can't show you because it's in the dumpster. It's gone. I pulled out enough to fill a small bobbin on my spinning wheel twice. And then I plied it together. So this is 2 ply twisted together, okay? I struggled and fought this, and it smells good now. For some reason, when I spin it and then wash it, the smell comes out. Don't understand that. So it smells beautiful. It still feels a little bit gross though, and almost like it's leaving a residue on my hands. And it's not lanolin. It's not the I scoured it. I poured boiling water on top of it, and I still couldn't get the stuff out of the fabric. So I don't know. I am going to seriously think about ever buying from roving from a thrift store again. I should have known when it was in sealed bags, and I just trusted the place, and I was like, but this smells like, when I opened it, I was like, this is not okay. This is not okay. Luckily, there was no creepy crawlies or bugs in it, because I'd have flipped out and I'd have been back at that store real quick. But like, it was real stinky. Now I have a bag of buffalo over here that was stinky, but the buffalo is stinky in a different way. This was real bad. Now, oh, that almost matches my hair. I spun it. I spun enough to make this, which I don't even know how much this weighs, and I don't think my scale has a good battery in it. I'm not even really sure where my scale is. I'm gonna be real honest. I don't know where I put it. Anyway, I'm gonna say 75 grams. I'm gonna say about. As a total estimate, this might be enough to knit a hat, maybe not. I'm at the point now where I hate it and I just don't want to look at it. This one's beautiful. This one's just stunning. This one, not so much. And after plying this, even plying it, it was fighting me. And it just... I don't want to explain the whole process, but like spinning it, it was drafting okay. I didn't have a problem with it drafting, but it wasn't spinning real great. And then like it kept wanting to tangle on itself. And then when I went to go apply them together, which is twist them into the machine, like the machine was literally eating it. And I had to keep taking things apart, and I'm like, I was so irritated. I was so irritated. So I just threw the rest of the fiber out because I feel like it's unusable. And I only paid like $4 or $5 for it, so it's not a loss because I got 2 skeins out of it. So then I moved on to this, which I don't know. I don't remember what it is. It's my high-end fiber that I bought from a reputable dealer at one of the wool festivals. I don't remember which one. I don't know the name of the company that made this one. I don't remember a whole lot, but I remember that it was in a beautiful swirl, and it was what I'm calling Halloween colors, because there was purple and orange and green in there and black, and I overspun it, so it's got some twists and curls in it, but I really love the way this turned out. This one is far more even than the other two. This one spun way more even than the other ones. The colors are very Halloween to me, and it's still thick thin. And like I said, it is overspun, so we get some of these little curly Q bits. But, and even after I washed it, I didn't thwack it though because it's too cold to hang it outside, and I usually thwack it outside. And also it got a little tangled, so there's just like this random string that's hanging out, and I don't know where it goes. But it's not too bad. I think she's pretty. See, it's definitely overspun right there and right there. But she is a beaut, and she made my spinning adventures this week a lot more manageable to handle. See, so she's gonna get caked up today just so that I can, because I hate when she looks like that. That's what I did this week. Aside from all the shopping and the nonsense, and we did Legos a lot this week. Mr. Cinema got Legos for his birthday. We did Legos for New Year's Eve. Apparently we're a Lego family now, which is fine, but Legos are expensive. But Five Below has some knockoff generic sets that are not as good as the Lego sets. I mean, a Lego is a Lego, whether it's got the Lego brand on it or not. It's the booklet and the way that the sets are created and engineered to create something is what makes it a better set versus a not better set. In my opinion, I'm not a Lego expert, but yeah. That's what we've been doing around the Cinnamon Stitches household. A whole lot of everything, but not a whole lot of anything. And while we were out yesterday, I had my Rainbow Sandy's cardigan on yesterday. And usually when I wear knit or crochet, it goes unnoticed, because unless I run into another crafter, like, nobody notices it. So I was walking up to Aldi's, and it was cold out. Like, it dropped down into the teens last night. And it was probably in the 30s, maybe the 20s when we went to Aldi last night. And so I had my big rainbow cardigan on. I'm walking, and I'm like warm as can be, because that's so cozy and comfy. And I get up to go to put my quarter in to get the shopping cart out, and there's a lady standing there. I didn't notice that she had anything handmade on. So I didn't notice if, like, she had a hat on, but it didn't look homemade. But it could have been, I don't know. And she looks at me, she's all, "Oh, I love your sweater, it's so beautiful." And I, thank you, because, I tend to touch my things when people compliment it. Look, "Oh, your hair's beautiful. Thank you." And so she was complimenting my sweater, so I'm like, caressing it, because it's so beautiful and cozy and comfy, and I'm warm. Sometimes too warm in that thing. That's a Karen anniversary cake, 2 anniversary cakes. And she's all, "Did you make it?" I was like, "Yes, I did." She's all, "Oh, you did a fabulous job. It's beautiful." And I was like, "Thank you." And I'm like so proud of myself. My walk changed, And Mr. Cinnamon comes up behind, and here's the end of the conversation. And I go into the store and we go shopping, But I was so proud of myself because, and what I wanted to say to her is, yes, not only did I make it, but I designed it. But that's a little too braggy, But I'm proud of it. I did design that. I also felt like telling her, you can make one too. It's on my YouTube channel. But again, I don't want to seem boastful. And I don't know if she crochets, or if she just knows somebody that crochets, or if she just watches the TikToks and sees other crochet items. I don't know. But yeah, I was so proud of that. And apparently I'm just like a walking rainbow lately, because rainbow. Would it be too excessive if I wore this over this? A little bit. I would be real hot because wool with acrylic on top of it. Ooh, you'd have to put me in an ice bath. It was bad enough. Last night I woke up. It was like, I want to say 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning. And I was hot. And I was so hot, but I wasn't sweating, which is, I don't know why I wasn't sweating. Because normally I sweat and then it's like it's like 18 degrees outside, right? My window is all the way open. And I'm standing in front of it, having a hot flash from hell. Like, I'm just like, oh. And my hair was on my neck. And I'm like, oh. And when I get that hot, I get really, really, we're going to say witchy, but we know that ain't the word. Like, really irritable when I'm that hot. And then I started to feel like I was going to throw up. I was so hot I was going to throw up. And so Mr. Cinnamon was like, are you okay? I was like, why is it so hot in here? Now, we've been keeping my bedroom door closed because Bentley will get out and get into the garbage every night. Or go find things to eat. Like, somebody left the bread on the counter for the 800th time, and he takes it outside, and he's on camera eating the bread in the backyard. And after he got real sick because he ingested chocolate that got left on the counter. We're not going to go there again, but I've been on everybody's butt, like, put it away. Put it away. When you're done eating, put it away. Juju made cake mix for her dad's birthday and left the baggie on the counter. And so the chocolatey residue was on the floor, and little Miss Poncho came, and oh, she likes to take off with stuff, but she takes everything to the doggy bed, so we know if she's got some, because she takes it to the doggy bed to eat it. And I immediately started snapping at Juju, like, you got, like, we already been through this. Your dog is tiny. She will die if she ingests chocolate. Like, put your crap away. It's just a process. We're gonna have to just... Anyway, none of that matters. I was hot. I went to the bathroom sink. So I'm like, my bedroom has its own bathroom. I'm in the bathroom. I'm putting cold water on my face and the back of my neck. I'm pulling my hair up. And I'm just like, I couldn't breathe. I was hot. I'm like, I'm not even sweating. I don't understand. Mr. Cinnamon's all, I got this. I got this. He opens his window, which is on his side of the bed. And we have those really big, round, circular, industrial fans that are real loud. The Vortex Tornado, you know, the big metal fans. Yeah. I bought those because, and they were extra money. They're like $45 for a fan. And they sit on the floor, but oh my God, do they help when you're having a hot flash or when the house is hot in the summertime. We just have 2 of them. But man, or if you burn something in the kitchen, which happens a lot in this house, because everybody's neurodivergent, so they forget that they're actually cooking because they get distracted by something else, so something will burn. So, and little man freaks out because he doesn't like smoking, he doesn't like the fire alarms. So we gotta open the back door, put the big black fan in, and suck all the smoke out. Can I tell you how many times that has happened? And yes, I have caught the kitchen on fire. This was years and years ago, though. Mr. Cinnamon had the audacity to call me while I was cooking. And I walked away from the stove, and it was a pan of just oil. And I came back around the corner, and this was before we ever had kids. This was years and years and years and years ago. And I'm on the phone with him, and the house we were in had saloon doors between the dining room and the kitchen, and they were the stupidest doors. I come around the corner and I look over the top of the saloon doors and I was like, fire! I'm on the phone with he's all, what? I was like, fire! Hang on, fire! I'm like, I don't know what to do. I was all of 22 years old. I had no idea what to do. I'm like, and he's like, put baking soda on it or flour or something. I did that and the flames hit the ceiling at that point. And he's all, put a lid. I was like, I can't put a lid. Like it was a fire. So I went over to the pan, I grabbed it, and I put it into the sink. I poured water into it, and it went out. But I know now that you're not supposed to actually do the water worked. You're not supposed to actually do that because you can make like combustion. You get burned from the water. Yeah, I already know. Don't lecture me. I was young and stupid. Okay. And then it was a couple years ago. I was sitting on the front porch. It was probably 2 years ago. I was sitting on the front porch, and Mr. Cinnamon was cooking in the kitchen, and you can see through the front of my house into my kitchen, and the neighbor that I hate that lives across the street. Jennifer, your house is on fire! And I turned and like real casual, I turned and looked, and the windows were open. I was like, you good? And Mr. Simmons all, yeah, I just caught the pan on fire. I was like, all right. And he was already putting it out. It was like, it was just a quick flare up, you know. He had already put it out. And I was like, no. And I screamed back across her. I was like, we're good. Chris is cooking. And she's all, that's not funny. This woman has lived through everything. Like, she's such a compulsive liar. She's lived through it. Like, if you have a scenario, she's already done that, been through it, and lived to survive another day. I lived through a house fire, and that's not funny. And she's like yelling at me across the street. I was like, just shut up. Nobody cares. I didn't say that, but, you know, shut up. Just go back in your house. She's one of those people that I just do not like. Matter of fact, I hate her whole family. I just don't like it. And I used to be friends with her till I realized, like, I stopped being friends with her because she was a compulsive liar. Like, excessively compulsive. And I hate a liar. I hate a liar. And then, you know, a whole bunch of things happened after that, but yeah, I hate a liar. So, yeah. Fire. It's because I'm hot. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. Because I really want to film tomorrow's video, which is me going to Scrap RVA. I have a small video clip of that, but I don't know. When I've been in stores lately, I've not wanted to film at all. I don't know. Like, I used to not have a problem with it, and now I'm just like, I don't want to get yelled at. I don't want people to go, oh, it's another influencer, because I have been that person. I'm like, oh God, this influencer is in my way. I want to shop. And so I don't want to be that person, but at the same time, I like those videos, and you guys like those videos. So I just did a little clip of the overhaul of the store. I will, of course, in that video, give you a review of the store and what my thoughts were. I need to go back through because I looked at my receipt and the numbers do not add up. And so I think what she was doing is she was grabbing like 2 or 3 skeins of yarn and totaling those and then putting in the number, because nothing I bought should have been $6 or $5.50. It was like $2, $2.50, $3. And even the puzzle, which is the big skeins of puzzle, was only $4.50, and I didn't buy those. So I was looking at the price. I was like, none of this doesn't add up. And then something was $11, which of course didn't add up, unless she's just. So I need to look at what I bought and add up, make sure that they didn't just put in whatever numbers they wanted, because it felt like that's what it was. Where are you going?
To get soda.
So I'm gonna do that before I actually start the next video, but I'm actually gonna change out of this because I'm getting a little hot. I'm probably gonna pull my hair up because I'm getting a little hot. And yeah. And you know what's crazy is it shouldn't be hot in here because that window is cracked open a little bit. It should be real cold in here, but I'm just real hot. And the wool is not helping. It's pretty though. And it's done. But with that, I'm going to let you guys go. And I will see you tomorrow with a video from Scrap RVA in Richmond, Virginia. And with that, see you in the next one. Bye guys.